I truly think that you are one of the greatest Marvel villains of all time. You as Kingpin, it's just a flawless performance. Fans are obviously clamoring for you to come back. I'm curious if you miss him, if you think about that guy often, and which character in the MCU would you like to see Wilson Fisk go toe to toe with that he hasn't met yet?
Oh, it definitely has to be Spider-Man.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mr. D'Onofrio, I'm such a fan of yours, sir, and we've never had the chance to chat. So seriously, it is an honor to be able to talk to you, man.
Nice to meet you, dude.
I'm going to jump into this. One of the first things that we see your character do is really show Sandra Bullock kind of an act of kindness. He invites her into her home. He gives her a ride. I'm curious, when you started out in this business, who was someone that kind of showed you an act of kindness that you really remember?
Well, my first, not my first teacher, my second acting teacher, who's still my mentor to this day, many years later, and she certainly helped me, with my confidence levels and put me on the right path as far as studying and getting out there to get work, actually. But then there have been entertainers in my life, my friends, who Gregory Hines was a very close friend of mine. Like we had a very kind of brotherly relationship when he was alive, and he really we spent a lot of time together, and he really kind of gave me a lot of confidence and kind of reached out and helped lift me up a bit when I was young. And so I have close friends like Ethan Hawke and Chris Pratt and guys like that who we're like brothers, and so we all kind of help each other. And Dax Shepard's a good friend of mine, and I know these are like names that everybody knows, but to me they're just like my best buds.
I love that. That's fantastic to know. So much of this movie is about really how tough it can be to forgive ourselves sometimes. I was wondering if there was anything in your career that, not to be too serious, that like you haven't forgiven yourself for, a role you didn't take, a take you wish you had done one more time, a character choice you wish you had made. Is there anything in your career that you're having a hard time letting go?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be as heavy as our film, stuff like that. But I know this is going to sound really strange, but I've talked about it before. When I was younger, I was offered Inspector Gadget, and I wasn't in the headspace, and I should have done it. I would have. In hindsight, this is years ago, many years ago, but in hindsight, I wish that I kind of had done it, because it was really kind of my thing. Because not long after that, only about 5 or 6 years after that, I ended up doing Men in Black, and I do like physical comedy, and so I kind of regret that I didn't do that. I've made choices like that. When I was younger, I was more snobby about things, and I don't think I should have been. So if you're a young actor out there, you should just keep yourself open to everything. I just kind of wish that it would have been fun, right, to do that. I mean, Matthew Broderick did a great job, but I just as an actor talking about a job that I didn't do, it was I had the chance, and I turned it down.
You would have been great. And you said you ended up obviously going on and doing Edgar, and Edgar in Men in Black is one of the all-time great villain performers. I love your physical comedy in Men in Black. I've got to tell you, speaking of other great performances, I truly think that you are one of the greatest Marvel villains of all time. You as Kingpin, it's just a flawless performance. Fans are obviously clamoring for you to come back. I'm curious if you miss him, if you think about that guy often, and which character in the MCU would you like to see Wilson Fisk go toe to toe with that he hasn't met yet?
Oh, it definitely has to be Spider-Man one day. I'm hoping, we'll see if they ask me to do it. But I mean, Spider-Man, he lived in a world of Fisk. My character Kingpin lived in the world of Punisher, Daredevil, and Spider-Man, and so that would be the one.
And we all want to see it. And as we wrap up, you are one of those actors, because you've had such an amazing career with so many memorable characters. I was bragging to all my friends I was going to talk to you, and every person came at me with a different performance that I had. Oh, you got to talk to him about The Cell. You got to talk to him about Full Metal Jacket, or whatever the case may be. Whenever someone comes up to you on the street, is there one role in particular that they want to talk to you about? Because there's a career of stuff that people could choose from.
Yeah, there's many different parts that they bring up, but the most popular are my character from Law and Order,
Mhm.
Criminal Intent, Men in Black, Full Metal Jacket, and nowadays Kingpin.
Mhm. Well, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I rewatched The Cell recently, and I just that movie is one of the most visually beautiful films I've ever seen, and your performance in that is absolutely flawless. Mr. D'Onofrio, I'm such a fan of your work, sir, if you can't tell, man, and it was an honor to be able to talk to you. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. It's nice to speak to you too.
All right, take care. Have a good day.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.